Yes, sir. You know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of the Wild Card Chief podcast dedicated to the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, I'm Wild Card Mar. I'm joined here by a guest today, but we're going to have a Chiefs town hall meeting because, hey, some stuff needs to get said. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As I said before, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wild Card Chief podcast. I'm your boy, Wild Card Mar. Like, share, subscribe to all the content, ILW Sports Network, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, ILW Sports 1 on Twitter. We everywhere, but we here to talk Chiefs, and I got a special guest with me that he hate me himself from the Vegas Benchwarmers, my man E. What's happening with your dog?
What's up, buddy? How you doing? Thank you for having me on. Hold on one second. Mama, come here. My wife just walked in and my dog is getting excited. So yeah.
Nice. You good, man. Hey, I know the feeling, man. My little pup, well, he ain't a pup. He an old dog now, but he act like a pup because he just start acting up, cutting up. Something similar to our Chiefs. They acting up right now, all right? They acting up right now, man. So, but before we get started, my brother, go ahead, tell the people where they can find you, find all your content, man. Go ahead and plug that away, man.
No problem. They appreciate that. So I'm from the Vegas Benchwarmers. You can find us on YouTube at Vegas Benchwarmers, live on Thursdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. West Coast time, and then Saturdays at 8 a.m. West Coast time. And then on Twitter at LV Benchwarmers. Twitter's the easiest place to get in contact with me.
Hey, that's what they say. That's what they say. So tap in with my man and the great content that they got going on. But man, hey, like I said, man, we need to have a little town hall meeting because we got to discuss some things. What's going on with our Chiefs? This is not the team that we recognize. This is not anything that we are accustomed to for the last 5 years of what is going on with the squad. So in your opinion, man, kind of talk to me, what are some of the issues? Obviously, the blatant and obvious issues, we could talk about, but what do you think is the actual problem in particular with the squad this year, man? What's going on with us?
So we already know. We know that the receivers can't catch, to say they like. They can't catch a cold. We know this. But another issue I think we have, penalties and our offensive line. It doesn't really get talked about as much, but two of our linemen, Juwan Taylor and is it Trey Smith, that they consistently get penalties. They consistently do bad shit. Patrick Mahomes is consistently running around in the pocket. He's running more than ever. He moves around in the pocket. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a lot of time always, but it seems like on a lot of these plays, he doesn't have as much time as he needs or as much time as he used to. And he can't even buy it by running around as much. He's just going forward. I think a lot of that may have some issue to do with our receivers not being able to get separation. But our defense is fabulous. But I think our O-line, and those two players in particular, are not doing us any help whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair to say. And it's also fair to say that we got a accountability issue. I'm gonna play this little clip, and I just want to get your thoughts on it. This is offensive coordinator Matt Nagy talking right here, and I got to give shout out to the great Darren Smith. He's been on the ILW Sports show before, but local reporter out here in Kansas City asking the question. So that's the voice you're going to hear. But this is Matt Nagy in the press conference the other day.
Follow up on that note. I know you talked about, it's no one's fault as it relates to being offsides. I know Patrick was asked yesterday about accountability. And, that was something I asked him about EB, and he said that he held him accountable. When you look at the drops, you lead the league in drops at 33. Who is holding i.e. either the coaches or the players accountable so those drops don't continue to increase, that has an adverse effect on how the team is playing and, the wins and losses?
Yeah, no. Well, number one, it starts with me making sure that I, as an offensive coordinator, make sure that these players know that they're accountable, whether that's in practice, getting more catches, whether it's a mindset. It starts with me. So I got to make sure that we're doing that. We as coaches, and that's me coaching the coaches as well, and us doing it together. The players need to do it as well. And again, it's for me more than anything. It has been. We started out at the beginning of the year. We talked about it, and it naturally goes away, but it's still happening. And so we got to make sure that we talk about it. We do everything we can to fix it. And so I can't tell you anything other than we need to just keep making sure that we emphasize it. And then when they get an opportunity to catch the ball, they do it, and we handle it the right way.
I'm sorry, Matt just says follow. For people who are listening to see for the first time, what does that accountability look like when you said, like, when you're saying you're holding the players, coaches, what does that look like?
Yeah, there's discussions in the building. And again, I'm not going to get into how or what. I mean, you mentioned EB. I have so much respect for EB. He's one hell of a coach, and we're so many coaches in this league that have different coaching styles of how they handle and how they do things. And so I would just say that our coaches on staff and myself and Coach Reed, every player is different on how they handle being coached. And so there's a little bit of that too with how you handle certain guys. Some can handle tough criticism, others can't. So there's a feel to it. But in the end, we got to make sure that the product out there is scoring touchdowns and winning football games.
I got my own thoughts. What did you hear when you heard that, my man?
What I heard was this. It's not. Let me put it this way. Did I expect anything different when he got promoted to an offensive coordinator? No, we saw what he was like as a head coach. Mm-hmm. So this is not surprising to me. Another issue that I think that we have with our receivers, especially when we're holding them accountable, is they're young. They're really young. And we're not in the early 2000s. We're in a totally different society. And the way that coaches hold receivers accountable could be completely different than what we as my age group wants them to be. I'm 41, so held accountable. But I just think he's giving people what they want to hear. I don't know how he was expected to answer that question, really. I love the interviewer's question, but it was basically set up to make him look like a dumbass. So in that scenario, like, there was no really right answer because we know they're not being held accountable. You lead with Patrick Mahomes says Eric Bieniemy held me accountable. Who's holding me? So we're already talking about, well, Eric Bieniemy's gone. He held me accountable. You know how. So I just look. Matt Nagy is. I didn't expect a lot different from what he is now. But I think this needs to give more credit to EB that it's not just Andy Reid calling plays. Yeah. It's a lot of other stuff. But I do think our leadership room is sorely lacking with the receivers, but they're also all young, besides MVS. And that's kind of hard.
Yeah. And you make a point that the wide receiver room is young, and the oldest statesman is MVS. But that also holds a problem when the oldest statesman is a big part of the problem. So
exactly.
That is almost like, man, you can't stay out of your own way. And we're kind of seeing the result here for the last 14 weeks with the offense, and in particular the wide receiver group. It's not all the wide receiver group. I know Chiefs fans, we like to talk about the wide receiver group, and football fans outside the Chiefs kingdom want to talk about the wide receiver group. But they're not the only issue that we have on the offensive problem. It's just the most glaring issue on the offensive problem. When you lead the league in drops and things like that, it gets magnified, but it's not all on the wide receiver room. I mean, we can talk about play calling. It's, kind of questionable at times where, not trying to be balanced, trying to get, more, involved with the run. I mean, I'll say it as a Chief fan, it's been frustrating with Andy Reid as this times. I'm like, hey man, don't try to get too cute. Like, it's okay if you run the football. You know, you can bleed the clock out, run the clock out, and walk away with a W. It's fine if you run the ball. It's okay. It's okay, Andy. It helps. You know, get more balance with the offense. It's okay if you do that, Andy. You don't have to, you know, have Mahomes drop back 40 plus 50 times. It's okay. You know, you don't have to lean on 15. You know, you do have running backs. And most offensive linemen, they love run blocking because it gives them a chance to be mean and nasty. You know, instead of when you pass blocking, you're anticipating. You're reactive. You're not proactive. When you're run blocking, you get to set the tone. You get to go after and be the nasty guy and set the tone on a play and pancake and run somebody over. So it's okay if you run the ball. You know, obviously the Chiefs offense has had problems for some reason in third and shorts, fourth and shorts for some reason. And ironically, they're better on third and long and fourth and long for some reason. I never understood that. That's backwards. But, you know, play calling, it can be questioned. Obviously, you know, like you said, Juwan Taylor, a $20 million man in right tackle. You got to cut back on the penalties. You know, there's some things right there. So it's not always been about the wide receiver. We're just looking at a trend with the offense as in general is not the same offense that under Mahomes and Reed. We're just not recognizing it, and that's fair to say. But what are some of the positive things that you have been seeing for sure that still gives you hope that we are still the same Chiefs over there, my guy?
So let's just clear the room. We're not a contender. We can still be a winner. Mm-hmm. We can still go on a run, but we're not the same team we were 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. We're not the same team we were 3 years ago. Losing Tyreek Hill had a major difference. Last year, having Juju Smith-Schuster with that veteran leadership was a major difference. The things that are positive are our defense. Like, if it wasn't for our defense, we would be in a lot of trouble. So it's allowed us time to grow as an offense. I think the receivers do continue to get better. They do make some stupid mistakes, but the problem is the mistakes are made at the worst time. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest issue. And it's something that we're not used to seeing from the Chiefs. So that's why I think everybody looks at it and goes crazy over that. Our defense is fabulous, especially with the young cornerbacks that we have. I defended Snead not too long ago to somebody that was a Chiefs fan in a bar, and he was talking shit. I was like, stop it right now. Snead is always on the best player. Stop it. Snead doesn't play one side. He plays the best player, the best receiver every single game. He's going to have some stupid penalties. He's going to have, just because of who he's playing, he's going to have some times where he jumps a route and has issues because he's kind of aggressive. But when you look at how good of a cornerback he is, and the rest of our cornerback group, I really, really like it. Some penalties bother me, but our defense is the biggest ray of sunshine that we have. As far as Andy Reid, them not running the ball, he's never going to. This is fucking Andy Reid. He didn't run the ball with Brian Westbrook. The one complaint I had when he got him is we had Jamal Charles and he does not know how to run the damn ball. So it does not surprise me anymore that he's not using the run game as much as he's supposed to, even though he says he's going to. Oh, we're going to run it. We need to run it more. And you'll see it in the course of the game. And then all of a sudden stuff goes wrong. A lot of offensive line penalties. We have 33 penalties on the year just from our offensive line, with Juwan Taylor having 15. That is something that needs to be talked about way more than what it is, than completely what it is. And I think that's a lot of the reason why we go into superhero ball with Patrick Mahomes is because Patrick Mahomes looks good. He has some issues, don't get me wrong, but with the frustration that he showed on Sunday, I think everything's just kind of boiling over. That was his tipping point, because he's just like, I'm fucking tired of this shit. What else do I have to do? I expect us to be in the playoffs? I expect us to get the 1 seed. I said that on Thursday night. 4 games, I expect us to get the 1 seed, especially after seeing what the Bengals are doing right now. So that Do I think that we'll make the Super Bowl? I don't know. Once you get into it, it's a crapshoot. But if we can get the 1 seed, we only need 2 good games.
Mm-hmm.
And we still haven't really played a Chiefs game.
That's right.
Like the whole season, we have not played one. We're gonna start to see it. We're due for a couple.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that you say that, but because you look at the AFC picture as a whole, is there any team that says, "Yo, man, I'm worried about that team. I'm scared about that team." I'm gonna be honest, dog. It's I know it's the Chiefs aren't looking like the Chiefs, but I could possibly say the Ravens is a team to look out for, but I still have my doubts and questions about them. You know what I'm saying? But it's like pretty much what I'm saying is I don't see a team in the AFC that has stepped up and said, "Oh, well, the Chiefs are effing up over there. Let me go ahead and take the reins." Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's completely fair to say. It's wide open.
Yeah. Wide open as hell. So I think a lot of teams in the AFC, they're kind of leaving the door wide open for the Chiefs to get right, and then next thing you know, poof, there we are, and we're in Vegas again. So hey,
Exactly.
don't blame the Chiefs. don't get mad at the Chiefs. I mean, if there was a year or opportunity for somebody else in the AFC to take the reins, it would be this year. So, but nobody's doing it. Nobody's 100% saying that, "Hey, man, I'm just going to take it." So, but let's get into this game. In this particular game against the Patriots, man. What are some of your keys for the Kansas City Chiefs defense going against that Patriots offense that you got in mind?
I don't look. Listen. What's the stat? They're the first team to hold a team to 10 or fewer points and not win a game.
Mm-hmm.
They scored 21 points last week or whatever, came out crazy and then kind of slowed down. I don't think our defense, there's a key for our defense. We just have to play the way we've been playing. The Patriots make a lot of stupid mistakes. Their weapons aren't really a threat. Could they have a great game and go off? Yes. It could also be a game where Mac Jones comes in halfway through the game. We have no clue. So I think the biggest thing is just don't try to do too much. Just stay at home, stay yourself, let Chris Jones do his magic, keep the players in front of you, but don't go out there and try to be a hero or do way too much because we're playing a piece of shit team. Just stay focused and don't overlook them. That's fair.
Especially with that offense, what they got. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers last week definitely slept on them. Got caught with their pants down, metaphorically speaking, and just didn't handle business. Here's the deal. I agree with you 100%. There's not one weapon on that offense that scares me.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not one. Wide receiver group don't scare me. Hunter Henry and Mike Gesicki at the tight end position, they're nice. They're a nice 1-2 combo at the tight end position, but still don't scare me. There's not a running back that they have scares me. Zeke don't scare me for sure. Stevenson, he probably not even gonna play, and that's their best running back. Still doesn't scare me. There's nothing about that offense with the Patriots that screams, "Hey, worried." No, nothing. So I wouldn't even be surprised if Spags did a lot of man-to-man, load the box up, and just go hunt. And here's the deal. We know what Belichick is about. He's about defense and running the ball. Shut down the running game, which I can admit, for the most part, on the defensive side of the Chiefs, is probably the only Achilles heel that you can probably poke at. So if you stop that, man, a team that is lackluster on offense and they're one-dimensional, boy, pass rush could eat. Pass rush can eat. Kind of give me your thoughts on what the Kansas City Chiefs offense could do against that New England Patriots defense.
So what the biggest thing I think is this could be a get right game. This is a game where we need to get confidence. Our receivers need to get confidence. Our offense need to get confidence. So I think we should come out with a very, very, I don't want to say simple script, but in the beginning, come out with a very quick script, a lot of quick checkdowns, a lot of quick passes to get the receivers on hitches, slants, short outs, stuff like that, small little wheel routes, curls. That way we can get them going in the beginning, get them some catches. And then once you get in the second, third quarter, make sure you're taking deep passes, because that's something we're not doing as much anymore. And I think we need to get our receivers used to how we do it. So this should be that game where, yeah, I want the run game to go, but Pacheco's out. So it's going to be Clyde. But I think we need to use a lot of short pass game in the very, very beginning, and just let our receivers get that confidence, get the ball in their hands, get a couple of that going, and then start dropping some down passes. We should win by 20 to 30 easily, but I'm nervous. So that's
Hey, it's funny that you say that, is because like it's one of those things where when you said the get right game, I think that's the best way to, summarize what type of game this should be, especially on the offensive side. This should definitely be a get right game. This should be a game where the Chiefs, on defensive side, is just kind of continue to do what you do and can improve and use it as a trial run to knock out mistakes. Just keep improving. And on the offensive side, like you said, I like what you said about the short passes. This is a game where take the layups, and then start working, then start hitting your mid-range, then start hitting your three-point. Kind of that deal for my basketball heads. You know what it is. Is get into a rhythm. Get into a rhythm. And the one thing that you definitely said is the deep ball. Where is that going? Why is Patrick Mahomes all of a sudden the quarterback that leads the league in most passes behind the line of scrimmage? Why is that? Like we got to get better with that situation. Just because Tyreek Hill isn't here doesn't mean that we can't throw the ball down the field. That's what MVS. You're 6'3" and you run a 4.2, 4.3 40. Yeah, I mean the hands catching part is the only questionable part about that, but you can get down there. Kadarius Toney, he's a fast guy. He can get down there and throw him right down the seam. Let him run past the safety. See what happens. So it's not like we don't have the horses in the stable that can run these plays. Is we got to get more creative with the offense and get back to the identity of Mahomes' Reed offense of what we had. So that's probably the only thing I got about Nagy. I don't know how much influence he has on the play calling, but all I'm saying is this is looking real Chicago Mitch Trubisky offense-esque since he's been over. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. It does.
That's all I'm saying. So let's get back to pull out the big Waffle House menu, Andy, and dust it off, and let's get to it. That's all I'm saying. You got the Denny's menu. I don't like the Denny's menu. We need the Waffle House menu. All right, my guy. All right, we need the hash brown smothered, covered in Sean. All right, let's get back to that. So, you got any X factors that can help win this game for the Chiefs? And give me a prediction on this, my dude.
So I think realistically, Rashid Rice, he's starting to get more comfortable. So I think that's going to be a huge X factor. I actually think that look, if I was Reed, I would sit fucking Kadarius Toney's ass and would not let him play at all. Like, sit your ass down, don't even dress. Like, sit down and watch the game. Let's give Sky more chance. But to me, the biggest X factors that we have to have with the game is we have to get the chemistry and the connection between Mahomes and the receiver solid. That's something that's sorely lacking in the short game, the medium passing game, and the deep game, because there is no deep game. They're not on the same page. We saw it slightly against the Raiders, and everybody said, are they coming back? So maybe we can do something very similar to that. But I think the prediction, see, this is the problem. My heart and soul tells me that this should be like a 40-point game. It should be like 41 to 10. That's what I'm feeling. But my brain is like, you stupid ass son of a. There's no way this is gonna happen this way. So I mean, if I had to do a real prediction, I would say 24-9. I'd say they get 3 field goals.
Okay. I'm with you on the prediction part where I don't see the Patriots getting into the end zone. I just don't. Not with this offense. I'm going more like 31-3 because I need, because obviously with the offense averaging around 22 points a game, which is way down than what we're used to. So it's. And, I'll give Belichick still enough of respect for him being the defensive mind that he is. So I'm thinking more like 31-3. It's still a beatdown because to me, this should be a beatdown game. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to go crazy with the points. So 31-3. And my biggest X factor is, offensive line. I'm looking at Wanya Morris, the rookie, who has been playing solid. Can he not get tricked by Belichick with the disguising of who's coming and who's dropping back? And Jawan Taylor. So I'm really looking at the tackles. Jawan Taylor, obviously, like you mentioned, we gotta cut back on the penalties. The flags are killing us. They sometimes can be a momentum killer, especially when they happen on a big play and a big play gets called back. Those happen a couple of times this season with Jawan Taylor getting these flags. So it's just, stop putting us in 2nd and 15, 3rd and 14 situations with the false starts and stuff like that. But Wanya Morris, for sure, can he not get confused by the different disguise and schemes that Belichick likes to, draw up. So those are my X factors, 31-3. I'm definitely hoping, in my heart, says this is an ass whooping game. But I'm like you, dog. I'm like, the way these jokers have been playing the last couple of weeks, I'm like, oh no, because hey, we were the better team. And look, I'm not saying the Chiefs should have been undefeated. I'm not saying that. But I'm being quite honest. The Chiefs have been a better team in every game this year, but they find a way to shoot themselves in the foot. So the Chiefs, if they stay out the way of the Chiefs' way, man, we might be looking at a different season. That's all I'm saying. They get out their own damn way. Oh, man, I appreciate you, my brother, for joining me, man. Before we get up out of here, man, let the people know where they can find you again.
So Vegas Benchwarmers, we're on YouTube at Vegas Benchwarmers, of course. Twitter, LV Benchwarmers. We go live Thursdays at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We talk all football. And then on Saturdays at 8 a.m. Pacific time, we talk a plethora of sports. And then the easiest way to get in contact with me is through Twitter.
Yep. Thank you, my man E. Man, E, like I said, I appreciate you. We got Chiefs Kingdom everywhere. He's out in Vegas. So, hey, Chiefs Kingdom is everywhere. We everywhere, man. But y'all know where to find me, RW Sports Network on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, RW Sports 1 on the Twitter. You want to chop it with me personally, KC Wildcard on the Twitter, Wildcard on Facebook and Instagram. And then, of course, 613 Faith Productions on YouTube as well with my fellas over there at D&K Sports Podcast. So on behalf of my man E, I'm the Wildcard Mar. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Wildcard Chief Podcast. And you already know what it is. And the home of the, come on, baby, Chiefs. You know what it is. Hey, let's go.